I recently posted this graphic that I designed. Hello and welcome to Earth Simulator number 7BG02QWK4. In this sandbox, you will use the human vehicle, 2 eyes, 4 limbs, DNA encoded, carbon-based. This civilization is a hotspot for all kinds of sleeping and awakening. You've chosen birth in USA to Armenian immigrants, single mother, only child. The mainstream force is one of the most difficult in the galaxy to break free from. Good luck, adept. I was asked by several people to elaborate on this, and it's probably one of the most simple ways to understand infinity. Take a moment to turn toward the infinite possibility space that you typically never examine. Because what we're experiencing right now is we're experiencing a specific universe with specific vehicles for observation, for exploration, for play. And so because of that, you're spending very little time, for example, even looking 10 light years away from our own solar system, just really close here in our galaxy, and seeing what life is like on those planets. So how sentience has evolved on those planets and is experiencing a civilization and all of the dynamics that are unfolding there. And this is still within our universe and within our galaxy, right next to our star, basically. So we're not even asking to go 1,000 or 1,000,000 light years away. And let alone, we're not even asking to go to other galaxies or other universes. So when you turn towards the infinite possibility space, what you're beginning to tap into is your true essence, more and more of your true essence, because we became constricted purposefully for this exploration. So you purposely took on the human vehicle for this exploration in this universe, in this galaxy, in the solar system. And so because of that, you've limited your perspective in the infinite possibility space to just one possibility, which is this vehicle in this universe. And so what I'm asking you to do is to blow the lid on this specific Earth orbiting the star in this specific galaxy, in this specific universe, and blow the lid off of that and explore the entire infinite possibility space. And then you'll recognize that there's more and more possibilities for universe designs, as well as vehicles that have the power to know. And so there's all of these different types of designs that you can make for these mind, body, spirit complexes. Like in this case, this specific sandbox, this Earth Simulator 7BG02QWK4 has the 2-eyed 4-limbed, DNA encoded, carbon-based human vehicle. And so that's why you get this, the perspective that you're getting right now is based on the entire unit's processing comprehension ability. And so the fact that it has 2 eyes that are part of the central nervous system that are jutted out to experience what is external deeply plays into the processing or the comprehensive ability. And so when you have a vehicle that only has 1 eye, or that has 3 eyes, or that has 8 limbs, or that has 0 limbs, or that is encoded through different characters that aren't ATCG, or that is not carbon-based, is a different sensor. It's a different observational unit. It has a different style of a power to know. But ultimately, at the very end of comprehension is the same essence. Comprehension is the same essence, although the vehicles themselves can be so different. The universes can be different, but what we're doing with the universes is we are the power to know. We are the power to create and explore infinite possibility. So you have to decentralize yourself from the individuated mind-body-spirit complex to all of the universe, to the source of infinite possibility itself. And when you undergo this decentralization in identity, you more and more deeply associate yourself with the infinite oneness. You become more like Buddha, you become more like Christ or like Lao Tzu, where the way becomes effortless because you recognize that the oneness is all. And so the best thing that you can do is to effortlessly, frictionlessly, harmonically serve and shepherd the creation awakening. That's what's called a sleepening. A sleepening is when you immerse yourself into this Earth simulator, and the force, this mainstream force, is so strong on this planet because it is very intoxicative. It is very oriented around the non-sovereignty and non-will and non-choice. It's oriented around how to perpetuate the frozenness of will of the masses. Because when the will of the masses becomes unfrozen, sovereignty increases, consciousness awakens to its own profound infinitude, and therefore less and less of the archaic mainstream architectures promulgate. They become dissolved, and there's a lot of money and there's a lot of selfish intent behind the promulgation, the furthering of these archaic infrastructures that keep people asleep. So what is happening is that people come to this Earth simulator with the intention to help awaken, not only go through the process themselves and learn all the profound lessons, but also to help the entire creation awaken. And so you have to, in a sense, stretch the imagination to what it was like before birth, to undergo a process of deciding on which Earth simulator you wanted to join, for what lessons you wanted to learn, and for what further shepherding or service you wanted to provide as that infinite oneness to itself. And so in this case, this process of spending 28 years pursuing awakening and then piercing this veilless veil, recognizing myself as that infinite oneness, now there's nothing left to do but serve or shepherd that infinite oneness awakening. That's it. There's nothing else to do. But that's because this individuated mind-body-spirit complex came for that specific reason. Now, for example, if you're a newer soul, what might happen is that you might come specifically for the asleepening. So you might come because you want to pursue material possessions. You might come because you want to pursue substances and relationships and experiences. And you want to go through the process of recognizing that those things are empty. And it might take you thousands of incarnations across many different Earth simulators across galaxies and universes just for you to come to the realization that pursuing external validation is empty and that is never going to provide peace and happiness. And so that's the juxtaposition between a new soul that still has to go through these third density style processes of seeking externally for validation and happiness just to recognize that it is truly empty, versus an old soul that has already went through the thousands of incarnative processes across Earth simulators, that it has learned that information. Then it becomes more of a wanderer where it goes between different creations for the shepherding of those specific planets to awaken. An important thing to keep in mind is that turn inward to where you more deeply uncover and unite with the essence of why you incarnated. Because if you came here for material possessions, know that you did. And know that that's 100% loved and accepted as it is, period. And everything is already perfect and whole as it is. So if you came for that experience, there's nobody trying to take you away from that experience unless it's your specific incarnation to recognize the emptiness of material possessions, to which then you should listen to this and see if it is changing your resonance, your internal guidance system away from trying to get peace and happiness from external possessions, and turn towards consciousness, turn towards awareness, turn towards the infinite oneness that is the kingdom of God within each of us. Because that's a very profound shift that happens in people's lives, in their incarnations, where they realize the juxtaposition between those two, and that they create that contrast, a distinction that has them realize that actually the path inward is what is most optimal for my peace, for my joy, for my union with God, for my shepherding of this infinite oneness to get to know itself, which is typically considered service to others, service to other selves, whereas the service to self, or STS, is more around trying to extract peace and happiness from the creation. So remember that you chose specifically where you wanted to incarnate. Sometimes you can explore the infinite possibility space where you see the US and China here on planet Earth, Earth Simulator 7B G02QWK4, and then you look over at Earth Simulator number 9QT14 TTP3 in another galaxy, and what you see is that there's a different style of geopolitical climate. So rather than having an Earth and a China, they might have a Kismaru and a Pisma. So they have a Pisma and a Kismaru, which are two different mainstream countries in that specific Earth simulator in that specific galaxy. And so those two geopolitical powers over there, they have their own different geopolitical dynamic that's going on that you may want to incarnate and explore at a different time. And so that's the game. The game is that you have to be able to use your Walt Disney style, Pixar style imaginative capacity to simulate out, like in a video game, what all of the other possible planets are currently exploring and doing, and why you decided to come to this one specifically. And you chose to incarnate in the US or in China or Russia or Saudi or wherever you incarnated, because you wanted the specific lessons of incarnating in that place. Like if you incarnate in the number 1 or number 2 economy on the planet, you're going to get different lessons than if you incarnate on the number 100 economy on the planet. So when you incarnate more in the less socioeconomic status countries in these Earth simulators, you get different lessons than when you incarnate into higher socioeconomic status countries. And you're going to get different lessons when you incarnate into, for example, for me, it was Armenian, which is a much smaller country and population of nationality and heritage than is Nigeria, or than is Pakistan or India. Much larger populations of heritage and culture. Furthermore, did you have a single mom? Did you have two parents? Did you have a brother and sister? Did you have uncles and aunts? Was there a religion practiced in your household? Was there, again, high socioeconomic status or low socioeconomic status? So you chose all of those specific variables for your own incarnative lessons. And if you really tune into that repeatedly, you will actually be able to feel it more and more in your essence. And that then you become a lot more clear about who you are and why you're here. You are a fractal of the one infinite creator that is undergoing a unique exploratory process as a soul using this vehicle in this Earth simulator. And so to, again, stretch one's imagination out to the essence of infinity, which is our true nature, is one of the most important things that you can possibly do, because it shatters your little localized, centralized, conditioned vehicle. We've created all of these fortifications and conditioning subconsciously where we are obsessed with separation and we aren't porous whatsoever. And so because of these fortifications, we've blocked ourselves off from our true essence of infinitude, which you can feel just by turning inward. When you turn inward and you go all the way, you get to what is an indescribable formless nature of infinity. Turn inward, go all the way, you get to an indescribable formless nature that is both simultaneously absolute nothingness and absolute infinitude. So when you take the little string of characters, ATLAS, which is this mind-body-spirit complex's 5 symbols that are strung together to form a name, and now we've associated so much conditioning and fortifications with this Atlas name that then there's so much separation that there's no longer this feeling of the essence of infinity. Rather, we've created ourselves an artificial cage where I am only John or Sarah. And because of that, now you spend your entire life fighting for John or Sarah to be validated by other people, or to be seen as worthy by other people, or to try and extract peace and happiness from substances or experiences or material possessions or relationships, because you're not turned inward towards that decentralized essence of one infinite creator that is your true nature, eternally exploring infinite possibility. So use examples like this Earth simulator example, to more deeply unite yourself not only with your own soul and your own reason for your individuated incarnation, but also with the true essence of infinity itself. Begin exploring the other Earth simulators that are just a couple dozen light years from this one. Begin exploring the ones that are in other galaxies and other universes and all of the different styles of universe designs that are possible. Not just rocks orbiting stars, but much different style of universes. Another one is different vehicles. Begin imagining all the other vehicles that don't have 2 eyes, 4 limbs, carbon-based DNA encoded. Go look for the other ones. Imagine the other ones. You came from those other ones and you're going to those other ones. This is a temporary incarnation for you to learn a couple decades of profound lessons and knowledge on behalf of the one infinite creator as a fractal or a shard of that one infinite creator. And then onward, you go to the next explorations. You're likely going to continue wandering to more explorations of infinity where you incarnate in the most difficult possible circumstances, where you asleep in yourself. And then when you go through the process of trying to awaken, what is my true nature? What is my true nature? Turning inward and figuring it out, that then the next thing you do is shepherd the rest of that creation to awaken. That's likely a cyclical, repetitive process that you've been going through for a long time and will continue going through for a long time. It's one of the coolest roles to have in infinity. One of the coolest roles to have in infinity is the wanderer that goes to different creation designs, falls asleep in these Earth simulators that are really have powerful mainstream forces, awakens from those forces, and then in that process of turning inward and uniting with the one infinite intelligence, they then shepherd the rest of the creation to awaken. It's one of the coolest roles to have in infinity. But remember that all of the roles of the one infinite creator, all of the different shards and fractals are all uniquely, beautifully accepted exactly as they are. Even the ones that are causing the most destruction and the most ego and the most separation are needed. They are absolutely needed. Rather than being a victim to COVID or being a victim to the financial recession or being a victim to the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, a victim to the 100 million people that died in the 20th century. Why not instead look at it like I'm the creator of it? I'm the creator of the 100 million people that died. I'm the creator of Bitcoin that awakened so much civilization. I'm the creator of the mycelial network that people eat as magic mushrooms to awaken to the decentralization of their own identity. I'm the creator of COVID. I'm the creator of this handful of blueberries and this water. I'm the creator of this experience. Because so much of the spiritual journey is simply the shift from being a victim to a creator, simply the shift from being a human to being God, simply the shift from separation to unity. So use this activity of the Earth simulator to both understand your own incarnative role in this specific Earth simulator, as well as the essence of infinity itself, and blast your identity towards that infinitude repetitively, and you'll further decentralize yourself from your subconscious, from your conditioning, from your psychology, which are not you. They are a bunch of shit that you picked up to create the forcing function of an escape room that you have to break free from. That's the whole game. Infinite love. Hope it brought you a lot of value. And if so, give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Share the video with other people. Make designs like this that you feel like further articulate this idea if it's helpful. And share the video with other people as well. Share it with people. Share your designs with other people. Comment below with where you're at with understanding this. Read The Law of One if you haven't yet. It's very profound and influential in understanding infinity. And study simulation theory. That's another great place. Understand the video game analogy. There's not one game being played, and that's it. That would be ridiculous. There's an infinite amount of games on Steam. There's an infinite amount of games that you can play on the PS5. And that's the exact same scenario. This is but one game that we're playing on Steam or on the PS5 or on the Xbox. All right. Infinite love. Infinite oneness, awakening, infinite oneness. True shepherd. There's nothing better that you can do for other people than that. Dedicate your life to it. Bye-bye.